Hey everyone, this is Caro from Shuffle Dating Podcast, and we are back with a new episode with Liberty Schultz. Hi Liberty, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm a big fan of your work in TikTok and Instagram. So, for anyone who doesn't know you and who wants to know you, can you introduce yourself a little bit about what do you do and your podcast and everything?
Yeah, of course. My name's Liberty, and I'm currently going on a journey of going on 50 first dates with 50 strangers. It started about a year ago. And on this journey, I was kind of fed up with going on boring dates where I was just like going to get drinks and just sitting there or going bowling or something and not going on adventurous, fun dates. So on the dates that I'm going on, I use a book. It's called The Couples Edition challenge, and it has scratch off date ideas in it, and they're like fun kind of wacky ideas. Like one, we had to take a air mattress onto a pond and have a picnic on it, or like play Marco Polo with water balloons. So it's kind of like fun, spontaneous dates. But the book is meant for couples, and I'm doing it with strangers. So it's been an interesting journey so far.
So, and you also launched your podcast recently as well. I have
Yes.
listened to a couple of episodes, really good, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, I released a podcast. I think I have 6 episodes at this point, and it's been great. We just talk about dating, talk about first dates, talk about life, girl stuff, all kinds of stuff. And it's been awesome. I've had a couple of the dates that I've gone on dates with on the podcast too, and we've talked about stuff from a guy's perspective, and it's been awesome. It's been a great way to like continue to connect with people.
Yeah. So basically, we wanted to talk with you about first dates and especially doing these wacky ideas with strangers. How do you approach that? Because you are always very nervous to talk to someone new, or at least most of us are. How do you approach them to say like, "Hey, do you want to go and have a picnic in a pond?"
Yeah. So how this kind of started, how I started meeting people, first of all, was I had a Google form where people could recommend friends that they thought would be a good date. Or I've met some people off of dating apps, or some people like out in the wild, I like to say, like playing sports and stuff. So people have come from like a variety of different places. And the people that I have mutual friends with, it's definitely easier to connect with on that first date and be like, hey, do you want to go on a date? I'm doing this thing. And you already have something kind of in common, so it's a little bit easier. But approaching like a true stranger, it's definitely scary. It's still scary for me. I went to a singles event a couple weeks ago, and I was like at this event, and it was at this bar, and you just have to walk up to people and talk to them. And I still get a little nervous, a little scared, even being on 32 dates. I feel like I approach it though in a casual way. Like I feel like people put a lot of pressure on first dates. They're like, I have to know whether this is my spouse. I have to make sure this goes super duper well. But I try to approach it more as like, I just want to get to know this person. I'm gonna hang out with them probably for 2 hours. I want to talk to them, get to know what they do, what they like, who they are, and just treat it more casually. And obviously, pass a first date, treat dates more intentionally. But it takes the pressure off first dates if you just treat it like I'm just meeting someone. I'm gonna talk to them, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't gone to a date in a while, so that's definitely a new advice I will take. Um,
Get out there, you
so
got it.
I live in a very tiny town, so it's
Mm.
very difficult to meet new people, I will say. However, how do you get from meeting people in apps, because that's what normally our generation does, to actually found places where you can meet new people? Because like a bar or activities, how do you do it?
Yeah. So probably like 25 to 30% of the dates I've gone on have been with people off dating apps, and the other have been like through friends or out in the wild at a bar, at an event, that kind of stuff. Um, and the places that I've had the most success with meeting people, I mentioned a singles event earlier. I went to a singles event, and that was awesome because everybody there was on the same page. It was like everybody's here to meet people. It's very relaxed. You just have to talk to people. And I met some like great guys, potential dates there too, but I also met like some new girlfriends. I went line dancing with them. So I feel like just being like
Oh,
open to meeting people, yeah. So I met like a lot of fun people at that. And then also just like putting yourself out there. You're not gonna meet Prince Charming sitting on your couch in your house, you know? Like you have to be out in
Oh,
public.
you have to call my
Yeah.
love, you know?
Yeah. Prince Charming is gonna wander into the house and he'd be breaking in if that was the case. That'd be bad. um, but yeah, so I've had good success meeting people too. I'm really into sports, doing things that I'm passionate about, that I care about, and going out and doing those things and then meeting people through that has been a great way to meet people too. And just like being confident and being okay just talking to people. It could go bad walking up to someone randomly. They could not be interested. That's the worst thing that could happen. But also something like really awesome and exciting could come out of it.
How did you thought of recording this journey? Because you could have also just done it and never recorded or told to people. So what was the idea behind that? Like, oh, I will just post it online and tell everyone I'm done 50 dates.
Yeah, so where this journey, it started, and I've talked about this a little bit before on my podcast, but it started from a spot of where I was fed up with dating. I was tired of going on boring dates. But then a huge driving factor is I got out of a situationship pretty recently, and I was fed up with dating culture that people just wanted to hang out, didn't want to actually go on dates, you know? And I was like, well, if I'm doing this thing, I'm going on all these dates, and there's this fun twist doing it with the book. The least I can do is record it, and maybe other people will find inspiration with that. Or maybe other people will be able to connect with what I'm going through. And it's scary sometimes, like being vulnerable on the internet, being like, man, I got played in a situationship, you know? And I'm documenting this whole process. And it's just it's a way to tell a story and share it with other people. And I think from my DMs I've gotten, I think people have been inspired by it. And that's just such a incredible feeling. I'm so thankful that people have been, because dating's tough. It's scary. And if I can inspire someone along the way, that's awesome.
No, that's pretty cool. I think it's, first of all, they are very entertaining. I think you're a great editor.
Thank you.
They are really cool, like the videos. And also, I think they just show you that dating is not that serious. Like, you can go on a date and make friends, or you can go on a date and find Prince Charming or your dark villain if you're into book talk. So what has been your longer date until now? Because you say like normally dates take 1-2 hours, and that's very cultural, right? Like it depends on from which culture you come. So what has been your longer date?
My longest date. Let's see. Okay, so most of them, I feel like most of them are like roughly 2 hours. Some will like stretch 3+ hours, just because there's a lot of like moving parts that we have to like accomplish with doing the scratch off date. So sometimes they can lend to be a little longer. Probably my longest date. Let me count the hours. Hold on. Probably like close to 5 hours.
Oh wow!
Like, it was pretty long. But okay, we did the date. We met for food. We did the scratch off date idea. And then some of my friends who we had like mutual friends in common were like playing spike ball in a park by where we were at. So we went and played with them. So it was like we brought in other people towards the end. But I would still count that as part of the date. So the date was first, and then we went.
So it was like it's really cool. Like, okay, I'm from Latin America, so here dates take a good 2-3 hours as well, like maybe longer. Like you will meet for lunch and you will end up in drinks. So like it's not really like the flow of it. What has been like your favorite green flag that you find on someone that you met in this journey?
I honestly, I've come across so many green flags. This has proved to me that there is just like great guys out there. So many of the guys I've gone on dates with, I'm like, you are awesome. You are incredible. You are just such a great guy. And it's been so many green flags, just some truly great fellas. One of the funny ones, I actually made a TikTok about this a couple weeks ago. One of them is when your biggest green flag, when you're sitting at a table and the guy like pulls out his phone, right? And he's on his phone and he's like, oh, let me show you this picture of this thing. And he's like, you're both sitting there where you can see his phone and he can too. And he's just scrolling through his photos. Like, just showing. Yeah. Some people are like, oh, it's an ick when guys pull out their phone and start showing photos. But I think it's so cute. It's like them including you in their life and like showing you these like crazy photos.
Also, if they no, don't only show you like one photo, like they are just scrolling and like they're like it's
Yeah,
just there.
you're like, you're just like an open book. I love that.
Yeah, that's true. So obviously you have been to 32 dates. Have you found any red flag on the
Mm.
guys gone through?
Yeah. I think there's definitely been, I wouldn't say like clear, super red flags. I think more on like dating apps, I've been able to narrow it down more, where it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to swipe yes on that one. Like if there's
Oh,
like a mirror selfie and it's like, they're like flexing or like just like kind of an attitude on dating apps, there's definitely clearer red flags on that. I think I've just found throughout this process what I'm more interested in, what I'm more attracted to, the qualities that a guy displays that I'm like, I find that like we'd really be compatible, or I am attracted to these qualities. So I think it's more like beneficial qualities on the dates that I have gone out, because most of these guys I do have mutual friends with, and so they've kind of been cleared by my friends. So most of them are like just solid good guys. So not too many red flags. Most have been off the dating apps.
that's so cool. But so what has been like a thing that you or like a characteristic that you thought that you were looking for, and after like the 32 dates that you have gone through, you are like, oh, maybe that's not something I want.
Yeah, I think early on I was probably more attracted to someone that was like me. And as I've gotten more throughout this process, I've been like, oh, actually, like someone that's a little bit different than me, or a little bit not opposite completely, is definitely it matches me better. Whereas if someone is also like super outspoken, super outgoing, super adventurous, like a copy and paste of me, it doesn't always work. Or it's just like it's weird like dating someone just like you. So that's probably the biggest thing I've learned, is that it's okay if someone's a little different and they compliment you in a different way. And I've grown to like that a lot more as I've gone through this.
That's quite cool, especially when we learn. I think that's a good practice because when you only date the same person, you'll just grow to like them. But
Hmm.
because you're meeting new people every time, you just learn what you like from all of them, not just
Hmm.
one person.
Definitely.
Um, so in your last podcast, I think, or like one of your last episodes, you were saying like, oh, it would be cool to get everyone, or most of your dates in one room. um, how do you feel about that? I think it would be really cool. Like, I think the guy was saying like a type of bachelor kind of situation.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but I think
I
that
think
would be.
one of the dates was actually on that podcast. I believe that was the podcast with Shane. Um, yeah, and I think it would be interesting. I think it could be a little challenging. I don't
Yeah.
know. I haven't moved forward anything with getting all the dates in one room. I think some of them would be difficult because some of them are like from different, a couple are from different states or have moved now. Um, but I think it could be interesting. It could be very interesting, especially the ones that I'm like on good terms with, good friends, like we get along. Um, I think that it could be fun. We'll see.
No, I think it would be a great idea. I mean, you can definitely see the patterns when you get everyone in a room. You will be like, oh, here are the cool people, here are the shy but really nice people, like and the outliers. I don't know, like it will be really nice. Um,
Definitely. I feel like some of them would be friends, honestly. Some of them that like display similar characteristics. I'm like, you'd get along with so and so.
no, for sure. I think I don't know, like when you're open to meet new people, I think it's very interesting how we start finding better people and better people. Because there is also this negative feeling of like, oh, there is no good guys out there. I don't know if you had that feeling when you started this journey. Um,
Definitely. I was like in a discouraged spot where I was like, guys don't want to date. I kind of like lost hope in dating. But yeah, I definitely felt that way about a year ago before I started this.
and now, how do you feel about it?
Now I feel great. I've met some just incredible people and incredible guys that have just proved to me that there are guys that like want to date, want to get to know you, and like want to go on real like kind of meet cute dates, or like want to get to know who you are and want to be intentional in dating. And it's been so encouraging to see that it's completely flipped from where I was at a year ago, how discouraged and bummed out I was about dating, to where I am now. Big difference.
No, for sure. I definitely agree. There should be guys out there that feel the same that we feel, want to meet
Yeah.
someone. What would you advise to someone that is just hesitant to just get out there because is maybe get out of a situationship or is scared to get hurt? How would you advise to go about it? What would be the first step to overcome that feeling?
Yeah. I mean, I resonate with that person. I was at that point once where I was scared. I was scared of rejection. I was scared that I didn't compare to other people. I was in a tough spot. So I totally feel you if you're in that spot. Dating's scary. It is scary. But my biggest piece of advice would probably just be to take a breath and just do it. Just get out there and treat a date more casually. You're just going to meet someone. It's like meeting a friend the first time. You're just going to meet them and talk to them. As you get more into it, just figure out where you're at, how you're feeling, and communicate how you're feeling. Those are some of the biggest pieces of advice. Is just get out there, take a breath, and treat it a little bit more casually, and you'll be okay. You'll do it.
You will survive. I always say, like, you will survive. You won't
Right,
die.
like the worst thing that could happen, like, just there's great things that could happen, you know? And obviously be careful. Like the worst thing that could happen, like obviously could be terrible. So be careful, be safe, trust your gut. But I would say good things generally do happen when you get out there.
No, for sure. So now that we have talked about dating, can we talk a little bit about content creation? You started with the dating part. Do you have any plans after you finish the 50 dates, or is the idea to progress, or is just like a little project for now and then do something else? What's the plan?
Yeah, so I have about a little less than 20 dates left, so I will be finishing somewhat soon. And that's something I've definitely been trying to rack my head around what I want to do next. And I definitely want to continue creating. I've always loved creating and making videos and documenting stories. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't know if I'll go on another 50 dates. That's a lot more dates. I don't know if it'll look more like, hey, I'm going to set up this friend on a date and like document that process, or hey, I'm going to set up like a follower on a date. I'm going to document that process. Or just making like more general content about like community and dating, and something along those lines. I think it could be a mash of all those things. We'll kind of see. I think it's evolving into what it will become after the dates right now.
That sounds really fun. Like I will set up my follower on a date and see how it works.
Yeah.
And force them.
Yeah, you want to be set up?
I live outside the US, so
we can find someone.
Yeah, I can fly out. It's fine.
Yeah.
So a part of dating, content creation, what else do you like to do? You say you like to do sports. What which hobbies do you have? You seem like a very active person. I feel that you are never like stopped. Like you are never in one place.
Yes, yeah, I'm definitely very active. I play a lot of sports with my friends. That's like our main activity we do together. I rock climb a lot. I play spike ball, pickleball, all the sports. We play tennis every once in a while. I love like being outside, anytime outside, like hiking, camping, that kind of stuff. I guess you'd say like granola, naturey vibes. But I love doing anything like that. Hanging out with my friends, bike riding, anything outside, I'm down for. Those are probably my big hobbies for sure.
Oh, that sounds scary. Like that sounds scary. Like rock climbing sounds. I have seen my friends doing it, and I'm like, I will wait down here. Like I can see it. I will wait.
It is scary. I feel like my heart still beats fast when I get up high. I'm still like, woo.
Yeah, for sure. So I have a couple more questions. One of them is, do you feel any pressure of finding the one or a boyfriend after the 50 days?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think there's definitely there's definitely doubts that go through my head about it, and I feel the pressure because as I've gotten more into it, I've heard more voices, more DMs, more comments like, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Like, why haven't you settled down yet? Like, why haven't you found someone?" And that's hard. That's hard when it like people come at you like that. It's like I'm documenting this process to show this to you. I'm documenting this
What's
journey.
wrong with people?
I know it's sad, and I get it. Those like doubts do come to my head. I'm like, oh man, like maybe they're right. But I continually tell myself that when I meet someone, it's gonna feel right. I hope to find someone through this. If I don't, like that's okay. It's still an incredible journey. I've met incredible people because of it. Um, and that yeah, that's definitely part of it. I do feel that pressure. But I try not to let it get to me too much. I think it's just a part of it. That's a part of anybody going through dating, right? Even if you're not going on 50 first dates and recording them and putting them on TikTok, you have those doubts like, man, am I ever gonna find the person? Am I ever gonna find Mr. Right or whatever? And and we're all going at our own pace. We're just meeting people and going on dates and seeing what works and what feels right and who matches us compatible wise. And I think that's just part of it. And I hope to find someone. I really do. I really do. I think that would be incredible.
Oh, for sure. I hope you find someone who will just have you give you a little bit more of grounding so you don't have to go rock climbing that much. Like, yeah, I mean, more balance. Uh, so we will play some ping pong with you. And the first question is your favorite troll on books.
Favorite trope?
Yeah.
Sorry. Friends to lovers, 100%, or fake dating to lovers.
Oh, nice. Favorite drink.
Ooh, I love cranberry juice.
Favorite season.
Summer.
Cool. Favorite flower.
I don't have one. I don't think I have a favorite flower. Wait, okay. Let me think about flowers. Okay, I like eucalyptus a lot. It's not a flower, but it's my favorite plant.
Okay, it's a plant. It's green. It's here. And final question. Favorite comfort food.
Mac and cheese.
Like normal mac and cheese from the carton, or like do you prepare it yourself?
Oh, either way, any mac and cheese, comfort food, 100%.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming to our podcast. I really appreciate it again. You're an awesome person, and I really hope to keep seeing your videos online, and hope you find someone through your 50 days in Instagram.
Thank you. Thank you. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you for having me on. It was fun to talk to you and play ping pong. Maybe we'll set you up one day. Maybe.
Who knows? I will definitely be up for anything, always.